We know that Everton can play some exciting football in the WSL. Just talk us through some of the new signings and what you hope that they will bring to the squad.
Yeah, first of all, I've got to say it's nice to move on to talk about the women's side, because in terms of positivity, there's nothing but positivity when it comes to our Everton women. I'm really excited, to be honest with you. Cannot wait for the new season to start. We've been working hard with the supporters club, or at the supporters club, I should say, to make sure we're ready for next week. We've got some new flags on order, which should be arriving this week. Fiona and Meg have been working really hard to get some beer mats done. So those are flying out. So make sure you get your beer mats if you're listening. One for each individual player. And we've been working on our chance as well, so it's been a long time coming. We've been working really hard to try and get ready for it, and I cannot wait. But yeah, the new signings, again, it's chalk and cheese in terms of the confidence in the supporters. We've made some fantastic signings. Heather Payne is playing today for Republic of Ireland. Saw her last week in person when we played a behind closed doors friendly against Manchester City. Was lucky enough to get there, and Heather Payne came off the bench and looks like an absolutely fantastic signing. Reminds me of a young Seamus Coleman, to be honest with you. When he first broke into the men's side, Heather Payne reminds me of him, which I feel, that's probably high praise, to be fair, but that's who she reminds me of. Justine van Havermaet, Belgian international, tall, powerful, managed to score twice against us last season. In fact, it seems to be, every time we played against her, she was a massive threat. So again, she's another good signing, good experience to bring into the midfield. We've got Olsen, who's come in, who's a young Danish international. Again, loads of bags of potential. We've got, there's a number of them. Emma Bissell as well, who's been playing over in the States. Another great signing. Emily Ramsey, who was on loan with us last season from Manchester United, signed on a permanent deal. In my opinion, she'll be the future England #1 goalkeeper. She's that good. And then Martina Piemonte, who I think I've been looking forward to talking about, because Martina is Italian international, centre forward, great with both feet, great in the air, and she's a little bit nuts as well. So she ticks all the boxes. She's great.
And also Alicia Ahern as well. I was reading an interview she gave to Everton's website saying that she was encouraged by how well young players progress at the club.
Absolutely, and she's come on loan from Manchester United, young player. She'll be looking at the impact that Aggie Beaver-Jones and Jess Park made at Everton last season. And certainly with Brian Sorensen, we've got a manager who's got a proven track record of bringing through youngsters and developing them into top players. You only have to look at the Denmark squad, who've just come back from the World Cup, and the amount of players in that side who were basically found by Brian Sorensen during his coaching and scouting days. So, we've got massive faith in Brian Sorensen. I'm sure the players do too. And that's, it's great to hear from a player coming in that they recognise that Everton's such a fantastic place to come and play your football.
And I think it's fair to say, isn't it, that under Brian Sorensen, this club is on a journey to be better and to achieve more, ultimately to at least achieve Champions League football. And it's that progression, isn't it, under Brian Sorensen, that is going to be key to Everton's success this season?
It is, yeah, and it's going to be difficult because, a number of the teams around us or below us have invested heavily this summer. Aston Villa have made a number of more signings. Don't know how they're going to keep everyone happy, because they seem to have half the players in the league now between them and Chelsea. But yeah, Brighton as well, who'll be playing the first game of the season, they've invested wisely. They seem to be, on the up. So it's going to be tough. There's a lot of competition in the WSL, and don't forget there's only 12 teams in that league as well. So the difference between making a challenge for that top four or finding yourselves in the bottom four, it's very fine margins. So it's vital that we get off to the right start.
And of course, Peter, players come, players go. We have to say goodbye to Gabby George. The defender has moved on to Manchester United after almost 10 years at Everton. And I think I'm right in saying that Gabby was the first ever player to sign a professional contract with Everton women some 6 years ago. I mean, clearly she's going to be missed.
Oh, she will be. Gabby was absolutely fantastic for Everton. Every time she stepped out on the pitch, I feel that she gave absolutely everything for the badge, and she'll be a huge loss for the football club. I think when Man United came calling, they're her childhood team, so I think that there was always something in the back of our minds that if she ever was to leave Everton, it would be to go to Manchester United. The timing of it was a bit of a surprise just because of how late in the window it was, and I hadn't really heard any rumours of it, although I wasn't surprised that she ended up going to Manchester United eventually, but certainly Gabby George has been absolutely phenomenal for Everton. It's mitigated by the fact that we've actually got 2 or 3 other options in that position now. She switched to left wing back last season, so we've got Katrine Via, Sarah Holmgaard and Elise Stenovic, 3 fantastic players. Elise and Sarah Holmgaard in particular, those 2 can, are very young up and coming players with bags of quality and bags of potential. So it's not the end of the world. I'm certainly not going to be losing my head over it, but it is just a shame just to see Gabby go, because she was such an iconic player at Everton.
Absolutely. As you say, players come and players go. The new season gets underway a week tomorrow. We're looking forward to this. Everton begin the campaign at Walton Hall Park against Brighton. In terms of your expectations for the season as a whole, Peter, how far do you think this Everton side can progress?
Well, I think if we carry on the progression that we started last season, there's really no limit. Obviously, in the WSL, you're competing with 3 or 4 really top sides. Manchester United, who ran Chelsea close last season, to win in the league. Chelsea obviously ended up winning it, but Man United pushed them all away. They've invested very wisely, as we just touched on with Gabby George and a number of others. Arsenal have strengthened. Manchester City there's a bit of a question mark hanging over Manchester City, I think, at this stage, because I just don't think that they're investing as heavily as they have done in the past. So it'll be interesting to see how they do this season. But certainly there's bags of quality in the WSL, and it's going to be tough to try and break into that top 3 or 4. But do you know what? We've got as good a chance as anyone else in that league of doing that. We've got a fantastic squad, a fantastic manager. So, yeah, bring it on.
And it is, of course, a great opportunity for anyone listening to this to get themselves down to Walton Hall Park as the season progresses from October. Here on Liverpool Live Radio, we'll keep listeners updated with the progress of Everton and Liverpool's women. But, if anyone listening to this wants to go and enjoy an exciting game of women's football, then, as you say, they can get down to Walton Hall Park.
Yeah, absolutely, and make sure you come and join us in the singing section as well. We'll be singing from the first minute till the last, as always. We've got some absolute, some belter new chants as well to debut at next week. So yeah, get involved. Songbooks are available, although I'm not sure if the new ones will arrive in time, but I'm sure you can pick up the songs. But yeah, really looking forward to it. The other ones as well to look forward to is the Merseyside derby at Anfield, which is on the 15th of October, 4:30 kickoff. Everton absolutely demolished Liverpool last season, so I'm hoping for a repeat, but that certainly is a special occasion for the club, for both clubs. It's great to see Liverpool back in the WSL, as I've said numerous times on here, and these Anfield derbies are certainly one of the first games we look forward to.